Querida familia en Cristo, good evening to you. I hope you are well. Our daughter is taking a little bit of a break, some time off, and I'm happy for her. She deserves it. She's a hard working woman, y'all. So, yeah, that's why there was no worship at the beginning of this. And the Lord is still good, the Lord is still with us, and I have a very important announcement for you. This Saturday, okay, not too late to RSVP. I've been telling you, big agape dinner, big surprise. You don't want to miss it. This is a one time, a first time at a Bi Christian Fellowship event. It's going to be beautiful and wonderful, and you don't want to miss it. You want to be a part of it. And you absolutely want to RSVP. Not too late to RSVP. And look, if Saturday comes and you say, oh my gosh, I forgot to RSVP, come anyway. All right? Don't make that a habit, but come anyway. All right? Here is what I'd like to share with you this evening. Let me take the next few minutes to share about the importance of diligence. Diligence. Here's an area where we can all use prayer. And if none of you can use prayer that are tuning in, I can use prayer in this area. I could always use prayer in the area of diligence. I could always be more diligent. I don't think I've ever met a person in my entire life who has said, I am very diligent, I'm diligent, don't need to be more diligent, I'm diligent enough. I think there's always room for growing in this area of diligence. Please pray for me as I pray for you, that the Lord would make us even more diligent. I want to be a person that is about God's business. So I'm here to encourage you this evening on this topic of diligence. Listen to what Proverbs chapter 4, verse 23 says this. Guard your heart with all diligence, with all diligence, for it determines the course of your life. Guard your heart. Protect your heart. Be very prudent in this way. Guard your heart. What is the heart? When the Bible says guard your heart, it's not talking about the literal organ in your body called the heart that pumps blood around your body. It's talking about the inner person, the inner man, the mind, the will, the understanding. To guard your soul, to guard the knowledge that's coming in, to guard the things that are coming out of your mouth, your thinking, the way you act, your memory, your inclination, your determination, your conscience. Your heart is the seat of your moral character, your integrity. Guard all of these things. And the Bible, when it speaks of heart, it speaks about the seat of emotions and passions, the seat of courage, the seat of appetites. All of these things are meant when it says guard your heart, guard your way of thinking and behaving. And all of these things that I just said, guard those things. Be diligent to keep watch over. Like literally somebody who's guarding something. Be diligent to keep watch over all your actions and your words and your character, for that determines the course, the path of your life. 2 Peter chapter 1 verse 10. Again, we're talking about diligence. Therefore, brethren, Peter speaking, says, be even more diligent. See, there's always room for growth, right? You can be diligent, but you could always be more diligent. Peter says, be even more diligent to make your call and election sure, for if you do these things, you will never stumble. Wow. So listen to what Peter is saying. The Lord has called you. The Lord has elected you. Follow your calling. Follow in the path in which the Lord has called you to. Follow in the path of your election. What did the Lord call you to? What has the Lord called you from? Are you still doing the things that He's called you from? I was hanging out with my old friends. I'm still hanging out with them. I was drinking. I was partying. I'm still doing those things. He called you away from those things and unto Himself. Are you giving diligence to your call and to your election? Listen to how it reads in the New Living Translation. So, dear brothers and sisters, work hard to prove that you really are among those God has called and chosen. Do these things and you will never fall away. Work hard to prove that you are really among those whom God has called and chosen. Now here's a text that I want to look at briefly. It's found in Ephesians chapter 5, verses 15 through 17. Paul writes this: be careful how you live. Be careful how you live. Saying the same thing as we're told in the Old Testament, guard your heart with all diligence. That another way of saying that is be careful how you live. And then Paul says, don't live like fools, but like those who are wise. Don't live like fools, but live like those who are wise. Make the most of every opportunity in these evil days. Don't act thoughtlessly, but understand what the Lord wants you to do. What has the Lord called you to do? He saved you for a reason, for a purpose. So the question really is, what does the Lord want you to do? What he wants you to do may be very different than what he wants me to do. It's not what the Lord wants me to do. It's what does he want you to do. You need to ask the Lord, Lord, for what purpose have you saved me? Now, obviously, he has saved you so that you can fellowship with him and be with him. But from that fellowship that you have with him, there should be works that are associated with your faith. James said this: faith without works is dead. When somebody has been touched by God and they have the Spirit of the living God living inside of them, their life is going to change, period. And the Lord saved you for a reason. If there was no other purpose, he would have called you home the day you were saved. The day you were saved, you would have dropped dead right there and you would have been in glory. The fact that you're here means that there's something left for you to do. With your short time here on earth, what has the Lord called you to do? What is God's purpose for your life? Do you know what it is? Have you ever asked the Lord? Do you even care what it is? What is his will for your life? You know that Paul the Apostle, oftentimes his salutation, go read him. He says, Paul, an apostle of Jesus Christ by the will of God. There is no ambiguity. There is no confusion. There is no mystery in Paul's life as to what God had called him to do. There was no doubt in his mind. God called me to be an apostle. God's will is not some mysterious, secretive thing that you're going to find very difficult to figure out in your life as to what he's called you to do. Can I ask you this question? Are you a father? Are you a dad? Right? We just celebrated Father's Day. You're a dad. So you can say this: Johnny, a dad of Jesus Christ, because I belong to him by the will of God. Well, how do I know? Because I'm a father. It's very obvious. I'm a father. So I'm trying to be a godly father. I'm trying to be a positive biblical influence on my kids, on my family, by his Spirit living inside of me, and called, have been elected to be a father. Or if you're a mother, the same thing. Are you a firefighter by the will of God? Are you a firefighter? Is that what you do? Then be the best. Don't work as unto men. Never mind what other people are doing. Don't look around and say he this and she that or whatever. Look, your work is unto the Lord. Do your work as unto the Lord. Be a light where he's called you. That is your calling. That is your election. I don't work where you work. You work where you work for a reason, because God's got a call on your life to be there, to be a light there, to represent him there. Are you a teacher? Now you tell me, do we not need godly teachers in this country? It's not safe to go into schools anymore. It's mayhem what's happening in schools. We need to pray for the teachers, the godly teachers in this country, that they would make their calling and election sure in the school system in which they work. So you are a teacher of Jesus Christ by the will of God. That's where you function. That's where you operate. A husband or wife. I could keep going on and on, but you get the point. Give all diligence to your calling, doing what the Lord's will is for your life. Listen to what the psalmist wrote, Psalm 39, verse 4. He said this: show me, O Lord, my life's end and the number of my days. Let me know how fleeting my life is. And 2 Peter chapter 1, verses 5 through 9. Go and read the whole thing, but here's a portion of that. It says, to prove that we really belong to God, practice these things: self-control, godliness, brotherly kindness, and love. Again, we're going back to keeping your heart with all diligence, guarding it, right? For out of it flow the issues of life. Be diligent in practicing these things, because why? Our time is short. That's what Paul says in Ephesians. And then Paul says, Make the most of every opportunity. I have told you time and again, tomorrow's not promised to us. All we have is the present, the right now, the gift of today. And so the reason that Paul tells us to make the most of every opportunity is because the days are evil. Let me tell you, at least in my life, okay, I'm coming in for a close, but let me tell you, at least for my life, one of the biggest hindrances to diligence, okay? I may be like you, right? Get tired. I just get tired. I mean, there's a lot of work to do. And as I look around, I don't see a lot of fruit sometimes coming from the work. Other times it's just like, what's the sense? The days are evil. There's so much evil going on around us that it seems like I'm not doing anything. I'm not being effective. And that can hinder my diligence. I could look at what's going on around me. I could look at others. I can be quickly discouraged. And my diligence can start plummeting where it's like, I'm tired and it's no use anyway. You want to throw in the towel. Listen, part of the enemy's tactic in your life is that you throw in the towel to get the fight out of you. Like, what's the sense? How many people, how many Christians today, what's the sense? That's how they're living. Maybe you're listening to me right now, and there was a time in your life where you were more diligent about the things of the Lord, but now you're like, what's the sense? Look at the world is going downhill so fast. There's nothing I can do. What am I going to do? I'm like a drop in the ocean. What am I going to do? And those type of things can hinder our diligence. And listen, trust me, I know what I'm talking about because they've hindered my diligence. Well, let me encourage you. Galatians chapter 6, verse 9 says this: do not grow weary in well-doing. Oh, this so encourages my heart because we can grow weary in well-doing. Like, what's the sense? You have a sense, am I just wasting time? Like, what's going on? I don't see any fruit from my labor. Or, we get into our pity party. I'm just like you, and just start moaning and groaning, right? And then our diligence declines. But listen to what we're told. Paul tells us this: do not grow weary in well-doing, for in due time we shall reap if we faint not. My brother, my sister, please let that soak in. Do not grow weary. Don't get tired. Don't get disillusioned. Don't lose hope. Hold on to your faith. Hold on to your diligence. Be even more diligent. Be even more diligent to serve the Lord, to pray, to read your Bible. In due time we shall reap. This is talking about, obviously, about a harvest, all right? So look, it's very easy. You don't plant a seed in the ground today, say an apple seed, and tomorrow you go out and there's an apple tree there. No, it doesn't happen that way, right? You sow a seed, then you got to water it, then you got to tend to it, then you got to keep insects away from it, and it could be a long time before there's an increase, before there's a harvest. So keep on planting. Listen, keep on planting. Keep on sowing. For in due time you shall reap a harvest if we faint not. And here's the closing verse. All right. Am I encouraging you to be more diligent? Okay. To continue on being diligent, especially in the things of the Lord. Romans chapter 13, 11 and 12 says this: the hour has come, listen, for you to wake up from slumber. That's another thing, that lack of diligence causes us laziness. We start to slumber. We start to let things go by the wayside. We get careless. We started this message by saying, give heed, pay attention, put a guard over your heart, right? Because out of it flow the issues of life. Wake up. Don't sleep. Now is not the time to be sleeping. Don't sleep in the light. Because, Paul tells us in Romans, because our salvation is nearer. That means it's closer than ever before now than when we first believed. The night is nearly over. The day is almost here. Come on, somebody be happy with me. So let us put aside the deeds of darkness and put on the armor of light. My dear friends, please listen to me. I'm here to encourage your hearts today. Do not grow weary in well-doing. Keep on keeping on. Our life is short. We're getting closer each day to the finish line. I want all of us, to finish well. Continue to be diligent. All right? Give your heart, give your mind, your soul, your strength, give everything you have in the service of the Lord, following the Lord, fellowshipping with him. All right? May you be strengthened in the inner man by God's grace. See you Saturday. Hey, we're going to have a big surprise for you.